I just felt compelled to come and talk to you guys. I know all of us are concerned about all of the protests that's going on and people trying to deny what's really happening. And the bottom line is, let's just stop wasting our time. Black lives do matter. We all understand that black on black crime is not a thing. It was titled that by human beings. Anytime you have anyone killed, it's a crime against humanity. Let me repeat that. It is a crime against humanity. No such animal as black on black crime. Crime is crime, no matter what neighborhood it is committed in. But listen, I want to talk to you a little more seriously. Well, that was serious, obviously, but we need to stop it. We need to teach our children, teach our athletes, etc. All of the stuff about, well, if you don't go to this school, you won't go to the NFL, etc. We need to help our children to understand one thing is that you are more than an entertainer. Let me repeat that. You are more than an entertainer. When you have people trying to recruit you to go to their college, do some research, moms, dads, friends. How does the faculty and staff treat, quote, the regular students, unquote? How does the coach really feel about you as a human being? Not because you can get them a national championship, not because you can make them look good, where they can ascend to universities and colleges and to the NFL, etc. Understand this: people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Stop apologizing for believing in who you are because someone tries to set parameters for you. And well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you because you're black, and you have to be careful what you say. Sure, we should be all be respectful at all times of anyone. However, do not apologize for being who you are. Nobody asked any of us who we wanted to be. No one asked us. And let me say respectfully to the moms and the dads, when eggs were fertilized, nobody tapped an egg, no sperm tapped an egg and said, you're fixing to be fertilized. I'm a black sperm, I'm a white sperm, I'm a Latino sperm. So, we need to stop the foolishness. Understand one thing. Parents, you need to help your children understand this, that going to an HBCU is not a problem. We have allowed the media to make it a problem. I was blessed to play at HBCU, Mississippi Valley State University, and at Louisiana Tech University. Ask any of the players that played with me. No one, not the All Americans, not the NFL Hall of Famers, were looking forward to lining up against me one on one. Ask them. Pictures do not lie. Look, if they don't want to admit it openly, ask to see film, etc. Why am I saying that to you? Because you've got to understand this. If your son, and we're talking football right now, but obviously other sports as well. If your son and daughter have the talent, the pros want to win, and they have to be forced to look for you wherever you are. So all of this craziness about he has to go to LSU, he has to go to Georgia, he has to go to listen. Grambling is wide open. Alcorn State is wide open. Mississippi Valley State University. We get to Alcorn State. Steve McNair. It's been more than Grambling. It's been more than Gary Big Hand Johnson and Doug Williams. I mean, the list goes on and on. Mississippi Valley. It's been more than Jerry Rice. You had Parnell Dickinson, who was a quarterback in the NFL. Didn't start. Didn't get a holistic name. You had Ted Washington, who played 15 years in the NFL. You had Robert Gaddis, who was a wide receiver. Ted was a defensive lineman, and on in Jackson State. And everybody knows about Walter Payton, the whole nine. So listen, you make a difference, athletes. You make a difference. You can really make this movement go forward. Refuse, I mean that. Refuse to play for these coaches that refuse to acknowledge you as a human being. I'm not saying be disrespectful. I'm not saying expect any special treatment. I'm simply saying be viewed as a human being. Your talents were given to you by your maker, and people try to psych you out all the time about this coach is so great, that coach is so great. I feel like I was a great coach. However, I knew I needed athletes, great athletes, to be great. So let's stop letting people psych us out and try to make you think that you don't have any dreams because you didn't go to a certain university, this, that, and the third. Howard University is still accepting athletes. Grambling University is still accepting athletes. Mississippi Valley, Alcorn State, Jackson State, Florida A&M, and the list goes on and on and on. And see how you are treated as a person. I can't reiterate that enough. Stop being an entertainer. And we all know the history of this country. No one has a problem with you entertaining them. However, they have a problem when you want to be a person. And let me say very clearly, I'm not maligning anyone. I'm just going to speak from my heart this morning. You know, everybody hollering about the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Where's Jerry Jones in all this? You don't hear him defending anything other than something that interests him. So, and I just happened to mention his name, but the other NFL people or the college coaches, where's LSU? National champions. Can't hear anything coming out of LSU about supporting the movement. And your whole team almost consists of players that look like me and some of you. So let's stop allowing people to treat us simply like entertainers. I can say it. Yes, I can. You know, I hold my degrees. Ask them. No one was looking to get in front of Melvin, Chief Lars at Louisiana Tech. None of them. Not the All Americans, not the Hall of Famers. None of them. None of them were looking forward to getting in front of me at Mississippi Valley State University. Not the All Americans. None of them. And the teams that we played. And unfortunately, you know, my stints as a free agent just didn't work out for whatever reason. However, I'm talking about our kids that's coming through now. Our high school kids, our college kids, even our professional athletes. You guys have got to stop allowing people to treat you as an entertainer only. Tell them to miss you with all of that foolishness because people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Get that. It doesn't matter if it's a marriage, it doesn't matter if it's your friends, it doesn't matter if it's a teacher, coach, etc. So understand something. You have to believe in yourself. Again, before I shut this down, we're not saying disrespect people. We're not saying refuse direction. We're not saying disrespect the adults, disrespect your coaches. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you are more than an entertainer. And people that refuse to accept you as more than an entertainer, then you shouldn't go and play at their universities. And if you can help it, I know high schools are led by districts and you're required to go to certain high schools. But if you have people that disrespect you and they won't try to force you to play on all these racist school names and racist symbols and all that kind of thing, hey, then let them do it. Go and have your seat in the stadium until they understand that your voice is just as important as theirs and that you are a human being and you will accept nothing less. So you don't go out there and entertain them and try to bring them district championships and state championships, and all they want is to brag about who won this game and who won that game, but they don't respect you as a person when you in the building, or you only get someone to give you a grade because they want the team to look good. What about you looking good? Because your body will break down, guys. You will get older. Take it from an old man. Your steps will get slower. You can get catastrophic illnesses. Take it from me. You can go into NFL camps and you're the best player there, but you get at your position anyway, but you get dismissed by numbers. You get dismissed because you may not be quite tall enough. You may not have the fastest 40-yard dash time, but you're the best player. But because of stipulations that have already been set, you don't meet the criteria. So what do you do when the crowd stops cheering? That's what you guys have got to understand. What do you do when the crowd stops cheering? Do not allow people to see you only as an entertainer. You refuse to be only an entertainer. If I'm your coach and I can't see you as a human being and I can't help you as a person, then you don't need to play for me. If I can't speak up publicly and let people know that I'm supporting you, the human being, then you don't need to play for me because I'm a hypocrite and a liar. When I say I support you and I believe in what you're doing, but I'm hiding behind some wall, I'm a liar. I go on record as saying that. But when I can support you and don't care who know that I support you as a human being, then that's a major difference. Just getting on TV or in a newspaper and make the statement, and then that's all I do. Guys, understand that's a recruitment tool. Don't be psyched out by that. Oh yeah, well we're with the guys and we believe in them. But where are you? If you believe in them, where are you? So guys, don't be fooled by that. HBCUs are alive and strong. There's so much history. You guys are in the let me say computer age. Click on, do some research. Some of the greatest athletes ever came right out of HBCUs, the same ones that you and your parents now think that you are too good to go to. So I'm going to leave it there. Last thing I'm going to say, people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Do not allow people to see you as just an entertainer. Do not take the HBCU off of your recruitment record. Understand one thing, and I'm just simply going to tell you, a lot of your high school coaches have a lot to do with the letters and things that you receive, high school players. Colleges send letters to high schools all over the country. They ask for players that they think are potential college players. They'll actually put your 40-yard dash time and your grades and all of that. So when you're not getting letters and that kind of thing, you might want to do some investigating. Okay? I'm just going to tell the parents flat out. And people get angry, get angry. I don't care. We got to stop this. Yes, Black lives do matter. And it's just a matter of us just getting in there and stop apologizing for being who we are. People, you've got to stop it. Why would you apologize for being who you are and let people change the narrative? Oh, well, they should have just complied with the police. No, the police should have done his job and not murder people. I mean, we all watch the news. We all hear stories every day. Again, we know the history of this country, and we need to step up as human beings and support human beings, not white human beings, Latino human beings, black human beings, human beings. That is the message this morning. Stop allowing people to use you as entertainment and to dismiss you when it comes to you being a person. Stop with all of this crazy talk about black on black violence. It's violence against humanity. Yes, we need to get in the neighborhoods and stop this foolishness. And let me say to the kids out there, you probably say, oh man, this old man is white. You can say what you want. All this stuff about trying to be mad at people, about who a snitch, be mad at the guy that murdered somebody. If it was your sister or your brother and somebody murdered somebody, wouldn't you want somebody to turn that person in? If it was your mom that somebody murdered at a bus stop, or she's trying to work, poor thing, and trying to work 2 or 3 jobs, and somebody robbed her, wouldn't you want that person arrested? So all of this foolishness about a snitch and snitches get stitches and all that foolishness, that's insanity. That is utter insanity. So you're going to support the criminal. And so many of you right now are mad with 45 in the White House and all these people supporting his foolishness. That's what you're doing. So when we start talking about the neighborhood, let's just shine a light on everybody. That's exactly what you're doing when you are supporting the criminal that's damaging and destroying other people. People will allow you to treat them. People, I'm sorry, people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. It doesn't matter what the situation, marriage, friendship, any kind of camaraderie, athletics, it doesn't matter. Stop being the victim by choice. When you choose to let people mistreat you because of some dream you think you have and you do not see yourself as worthy, as a worthy human being, then whether you like it or not, you are part of the problem. Again, I repeat, yes, Black Lives Matter. And when someone tries to dismiss you by saying all lives matter, that's called deflection. They know what you're talking about. They know exactly you're talking about people being murdered. And when you murder someone because of their color, that has nothing to do with black on black crime. If I go out right now and I call white people my less melanated brothers, if I go out right now and murder one of my less melanated brothers because they are less melanated, I did that intentionally. It had nothing to do with black on white crime. It had to do with a crime against humanity. Stop the foolishness. Stop letting people psych you out and deflect from what's really happening. No one should be murdering anyone. Everyone should have an opportunity in the justice system to get a fair and equal trial. If they're a criminal, then they need to deal with it. So, my question to you and my statement to you is very simple. Do not allow yourself to be reduced to being an entertainer. Athletes, as I said, this is for everybody, but my athletes in particular. It really hurts my heart, man. Every time I sit up and I listen to these guys and they try to apologize for being black, and they really don't even understand that that's what, maybe they don't understand that's what they're doing, but they try to apologize for being black. They try to dance around stuff and all of that. You didn't write the history of America. Now, can you imagine if the real history had been written, what the story really would tell? So when people get mad at you or get mad at me for talking about a history that we did not write, then there's something wrong with that. Stop being used as entertainment. If these colleges, universities, high schools, on up to the NFL can't respect you as a person, they are not someone you should be playing for. Colleges and universities are not someplace you should be attending. Grambling, Alcorn, Southern University, Jackson State, Florida A&M, Howard University, Lincoln. I mean, Wiley. The list is so long. There's so many places you can be and star. Trust me, they'll find you. You don't have to go to LSU and make LSU look good because you're trying to get to the NFL. All those stars LSU got, can you imagine if in Alabama, can you imagine if these guys were at Alcorn and Mississippi Valley State and places like that? That's where the professional scouts would be, not at Alabama, guys, not at LSU. Nothing's wrong with Alabama, LSU. I'm not dissing them. They're universities like everyone else. But the scouts will be where you are. Get that in your head. The scouts will be where the top athletes are. Trust me. Been there, done that. So, parents, stop being so gullible and blind, thinking that your kids can't go to universities where they will be seen as human beings and they will be seen as more than entertainers. And if the LSUs and Alabamas of the world embrace these kids, I'm talking faculty, I'm talking community, if they embrace these kids as being human beings and more than entertainers, more power to them. So we need to do some soul searching. We, as people of color, need to do some soul searching, not to blame anyone else, but to look within ourselves and to see if we've sold our souls because we don't believe in us. That's where the problem usually starts. And people don't want to admit that. People do not want to deal with that. We just use excuses. Oh, well, I wanted to go to LSU because I wanted to go to the NFL. Do your research. And I'm talking to the young people too. It's the age of computers, man. Get on there and do your research. Grambling had more players in the NFL than all of them, USC, LSU, etc. Now that when integration started, etc., of course the trend changed because the guys that would normally go to Grambling and Alcorn and Mississippi Valley and Jackson State and those places, then they started going to LSU and Alabama and these other schools. Why? It's because we were all sold a bill of goods. Again, I repeat, I'm not knocking any of those universities. I'm saying to you, do your research before you let your kids sign scholarships and things like that there. Check out the faculty and staff. Don't ask them. Just look at the flavor of the campus and how other students are treated. So I want you guys to have a great day, but I want you to understand this is about you. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Black lives does matter. And I have to say again, there is no such thing as black on black crime. It's crime against humanity. Look at the stats. People murder most in the communities where they live. So people try to put up stats for you. They never put the stats up. 85% of all white people, and I call them my less melanated brothers that are killed by other white people. Why don't we ever talk about that? Or when you see commercials on TV with opioid crisis and they try to fool you again, they got some girl in here telling, oh, well, I twisted my ankle and the doctor gave me some medicine. Hey, come on, you know it's not about twisting any ankle. Don't be fooled. How many commercials have you seen about crack and people getting hooked on crack? And they tell you boldly on the commercials, I watch them every day. It only takes 5 days to become dependent on opioids. How many days does it come to be dependent on crack? I'm serious. So let's stop fooling ourselves. Until people treat you as a person, then you need to do some investigating and understand that we can be our worst enemy because we refuse to look not only at ourselves, but to look at situations that we put our children in. You guys have to wake up, man. Stop letting people make you feel guilty about being a person. Nobody asked you anything. Let me put it this way. I woke up one day and realized I was a person. I don't remember anything about the process. So I wasn't asked if I wanted a black sperm to fertilize my egg, or a brown sperm, or a quote white sperm unquote, or Asian sperm quote unquote. So let's just stop the foolishness, guys. And all of us that call ourselves Christians and all of that, let's stop playing with the Bible and trying to twist the Bible and trying to make it comfortable for us. When you talk to the greatest Bible scholars in the world, they tell you that the most complete version is the King James Version, and the King James Version is only 98% accurate. Now, what does that tell you? That somebody been manipulating and playing with the stuff. Then we talk about the Apocrypha, and we talk about the canonized version of the Bible. So when people try to support slavery through the Bible and all of that, stop falling for that foolishness. And about treat your master, hey, the Bible tells us very clearly that there's only one master, and that's God and his son, Jesus Christ. If you believe that, period. There should be no other man before me. What don't people understand about that? God made man in his own image. What don't people understand about that? So if he made man in his own image, he didn't say nothing about he went and found some brown clay to make one man, went found some yellow clay to make another man, went found some white sand on the beaches to make another man. None of that's in the Bible. So all of this foolishness that you allow people to fool you with, be it a quote black preacher, white preacher, doesn't matter. You know, you have to be careful with that foolishness. Do your own study. You know what the Bible says. He had hair like lamb's wool and feet of brass. That's not white. Come on, guys, quit clowning. And when you're talking about Israel and all of that, that's on the continent of Africa. Ain't nothing white there. Those people are not maybe not be as dark as I am. So let's stop the foolishness. It's not about all of this color thing. And if you stop letting people convince you of that craziness, be proud of who you are. Respect people. And you must demand to be treated like a human being. Has nothing to do with you disliking anybody. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard, is that I have to dislike somebody because they are not black in order for me to feel good about myself. That's retarded. And I don't call people retarded. I'm talking about the idea. So, guys, let's get our heads together. Let's help our children move forward. Let's teach them true history, which includes black history. Let's teach them true history. You know, people that look like you and I were on this continent before any this so-called guy Columbus showed up. Do your research. He says very clearly when he sent a letter back to the queen that to enslave when he's talking about the Indians because they showed him some dust, some gold dust. So stop being so gullible. And you got, and I'm gonna say it, man. And you can have these so-called Supreme Court justices and Mr. Carson in the White House and people talking all this craziness. And Ben Carson, who lived on public assistance himself, whose poor mother was working 2 or 3 jobs, had a nervous breakdown, and had to be hospitalized in a mental institution. And he's talking the stupidity that he's talking. Do not allow people to trick you because they have sold their souls. And God forbid some of these former professional athletes who a lot of us looked up to that are selling out for a few dollars. Come on, guys. It's about you. It's not about them. We don't have to call names. Look and do some soul searching. Stop subjecting your kids to this foolishness, trying to force them to play under these racist flags and racist ideologies and things like that. Get their academics together because that's where they're going to go. Understand this. Competition is what drives America. So why would I want you to be educated? You just continue to entertain me while I make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then when you can no longer entertain me, then I will help you make an excuse as to why you don't make much money, as to why you can't be gainfully employed. Understand? That's why I said I love football. I'm not attacking anyone. I know there are other sports besides football. But when you talk to a Dallas Cowboy fan, they lose their minds. It's like, come on, man, it's a game. And Jerry Jones, where is he? You don't hear him supporting anything black. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And these other guys, other coaches at universities. So, what does that say about your son playing for them? They're seen as entertainers. I played at Louisiana Tech and Mississippi Valley State. And let me tell you, you have millions of players out, hundreds of thousands, millions of players out there that can't say that. You have hundreds of thousands of players out there that can't say that. I played at, quote, a white institution and a black institution, both of which have NFL players currently and past. I happen to have had the opportunity to go as a free agent. Unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards for me. I graduated, I hold a master's degree, superintendent certification, all of that. So stop letting people psych you out and think that your kids have to go to LSU and all of that stuff. If that's your choice, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying Grambling, Alcorn State, Southern University, Howard University, Mississippi Valley, Florida A&M, all of these HBCUs are still open, and your children will benefit greatly. So, guys, listen, have a great day. I had to come on and talk about this. It's been bothering me for many, many years, actually. But when all of this stuff has come up and you see people trying to paint over Black Lives Matter signs, and when you see someone sitting in the White House that's preaching and pushing racism and hatred and all of that kind of thing, you need to open your eyes and see what's going on. So I want you guys to have a great and blessed day. If you want to further this conversation with me, feel free to hit me up on the Nobody Asked Me Guy Show at gmail.com. It's called the Nobody Asked Me Guy Show at gmail.com. Feel free to email me there if you want to continue this conversation, or you have some things you want to share, or if you want to be on the show to talk about this even further. So, guys, listen, have a great and blessed day. I appreciate those of you that are here live, but I had to say that this morning. I was tossing and turning all last night because it was really bothering me, and I had to talk about this today. So, have a great, blessed day, guys.